First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua. That's Yahweh, who the world inwardly calls God. In the name of the Son, Yahushua, who the world knows is Jesus Christ. It's your brother Kazak Magun from the angels of Yahweh, coming at y'all with another lesson, man, through the spirit and power of the Most High, right? Slakia, right? We're going to get into this, a little bit of this NBA Youngboy interview, right? He a giant in the hip hop and the rap world right now. You know, he just had a big interview with Complex Magazine, right? And a lot of people follow Young Boy. A lot of people, listen to his music. You know, he real popular, right? So we gonna get into some of the interview that he just did, that he just dropped with Complex. Couple key parts. This won't be a long video at all. Through the spirit, but the spirit might take us into other topics. But yeah, I want to get into some of the key things that he was saying, in the video, and we're gonna touch on some things, right? Uh, because I like doing videos on like current things that's happening, things that interest our people for real. Like a lot of people they interested in, hip hop, rap, all of that. They interested in, pop culture and what's going on with our people, what's going on with celebrities. You get on Facebook, that's why pages like Shade Room is so big right now. That's why what's another one? Damn, World Star Hip Hop, whatever. They always, posting what's going on with the celebrities and all that. People are infatuated with celebrity life. Oh, lucky because they wanna model themselves after the celebrities and all that, right? I'm gonna grab a precept, right, just to start off with, just to prove that point, right? Share my screen real quick. Let's go to the 1611 KJV, man. Right, we're gonna go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, right? Also known as Sirach. We're gonna go to the 13th chapter, right? And tell me that this ain't no fact, this verse that we finna read, right? 13 and 23 is what I want, right? This Sirach 13 and 23. It says, when a rich man speaketh, right? When somebody rich is talking, it say every man holdeth his tongue, meaning everybody being quiet. You had posts on Facebook saying that would you rather take, what was it? I think it said either 500,000 or a dinner with Jay-Z. And a lot of people was picking the dinner with Jay-Z over that 500,000 because they feel like the game that Jay-Z could give them, is gonna lead them to having more than that quick 500,000 that they could get. They want to get in a position where he's at, so they want to have those, up close conversations with him, right? Have those face to face, heart to heart conversations with him, to get all those jewels and to get all that game, that he could probably drop on them, for them to get in the position that he's in, right? So when somebody rich is speaking, right, or somebody that people, revere, when they speaking, a lot of people they sit and they really take heed and they listen to what they saying. They really, breaking down the words, what they saying and all that. They taking heed to it, right? They holding it to a high astonishment or whatever, you know. So it says when the rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith. Right? So everybody be quiet, they looking at what he said. So once again, it's 3 in the morning, man. It's 3 in the morning. We up grinding though. We up grinding. The Most High got to get his. He got to get his. Right. We could grind all day for the so-called white man. Got to come home and grind for the Most High. And plug this laptop in. Salakia. Got to grind for the Most High too, man. right? But it says, when a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith. They extol it to the clouds, meaning they hold it to a high regard. What he's saying, that's what it means when they extol it to the clouds. They hold what he's saying to a high regard. So these interviews with these rappers and a lot of people, they look at entertainers and rappers as our leadership in these days. You know, when really your leadership should be the men that's out there on them corners, pushing this Bible, telling you to keep the commandments, not the ones that's in the Christian church, not them, but the Hebrew Israelite men. Those are the real leaders that you should be looking to, the prophets, right? But we look toward people with money, people with riches, and all that, and those are the people that we want to choose to be our leaders. Those are the people that we want to follow and listen to, right? So it said they extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speaketh, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. So when somebody that's not held to that, somebody that's not, as financially uh lucrative as like a NBA Youngboy or a Jay-Z or a damn Lil Durk or a damn G Herbo or whatever, somebody that ain't got the money like that, but they speaking, trying to give you some game, you ain't gonna want to listen to them. Cause you be like, why I'm finna listen to you? You ain't got no game. You ain't drop, what jewels can you drop on me? You in the same situation I am. What jewels can you drop on me? You not that far ahead of me. You working 9 to 5. What the hell can you tell me? But that's not how wisdom works. Wisdom is far more exceeding than rubies and riches, right? Wisdom is far more exceeding than rubies and riches and all of these other things, man. Salakia. It says, but if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. So the poor man, and not necessarily poor, but the man that's not necessarily in that same financial situation as these celebrities and all that. Yeah, compared to them, we is poor for sure. Yeah, but they people don't want to listen to what we gotta say, right? But we giving them free game. We telling them what they need to hear. We not being puppets and all of that. We giving you straight drop, not stepped on, not cut with baby aspirin. None of that, man. Right? We giving you that. We giving you what you need to hear, raw and uncut. Right? You don't know what them people, the people with the money, you don't even know if they giving you real game. But whatever they saying, you go hold it to a high regard just because they got money, and that's how our people are. And the so-called white man knows that. That's why he takes these celebrities and put them and plant them, right? That's why it's called an industry plant. He plants them in certain situations, right, to lead the sheep astray. Our people, we like sheep, right? You ever see a herd of sheep? Just watch. You could just YouTube a video of a herd of sheep. One sheep runs this way, all the other sheep go follow, right? The shepherd, he points his staff and direct the sheep this way. All it takes is 2 to 3 sheep to go that way, and then the whole sheepfold, the whole herd is gonna go that way, right? As blind sheep. That's why it calls us lost sheep and blind sheep in the Bible, because that's how our people act, right? So the so-called white man, he knows that. So all he does, he takes somebody that we hold to a high regard, put them in a certain position, and he used them to lead the blind sheep. And we gonna get into that through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right. So without further ado, let's get into this interview, man. Right. We're gonna start off right here. Right. He's speaking about, and so this is the interview that he just dropped with Complex Magazine. Look how the brother's sitting, man. It's kind of crazy, right? And we go look at his mannerisms and all of that. But let's get into it.
On the shows as well. I know you've been giving back to a lot of youth in different cities that you stopped at. What's your take? Because I think you've been early on this, on, 21 Savage had the fuck the streets movement that he kind of has been
And
promoting.
Salakia, before we go any further, this is fair use, fair use. My thoughts and comments on this content, right? I'm not doing this to make no money, none of that. This is fair use, right? All thoughts and comments on this content, right? But he brought up the interviewer, I forget his name, right? But he brought up the
in this
20
last
Salakia, the 21 Savage, F the Streets movement, right? So about a couple months ago, I believe it was in probably early November. I mean, well, probably December, somewhere early December, right? 21 Savage, with the Gunna and the Young Thug YSL trial, coming to an end. Young Thug, coming home and all of that, and 21, he basically trying to get them brothers together. He's saying, basically F the street shit, basically, and a lot of people they with it, a lot of people not with it because by you saying F the street shit, you saying we gotta forgive Gunna for the snitching that he did, and we gotta forgive other snitches too, and all of that. Ain't nobody saying forgive them. I mean, forgive the snitches and all that. But real life, it should be if you want to think about Black and Hispanic prosperity and what's gonna put our people in a better position, then yeah, F the streets. That should be, a good campaign because okay, yeah, the streets made us. It made us to who we was, it did that. But at the same time, the streets destroyed a lot of families, right? The streets is why a lot of brothers is locked up. The streets is why a lot of kids is growing up without a father and a mother on a pole, right? The streets is why a lot of babies was born with drugs and crack in their system, right? The streets is why a lot of young women got SA'd growing up, right? The streets is why a lot of our younger siblings and cousins then got unalive from gun violence, right? So that's why you see other rappers like I believe it was Pooh Shiesty. Pooh Shiesty, he joined the campaign. He was like, "Yeah, F the streets, because I'm traumatized. Because the streets they traumatized. They made us, but they traumatized us from all the things that come with it. Sometimes and we get put in a position where we ain't really got no choice but to get into the streets, just to survive. But it's like it's so much that come with it. It traumatizes you, and it's a mental effect on us, right? To where it's hard for us to get along with people. It's hard for us to integrate into society. It's hard for us to, even go around our family because we got so much shit going on. You don't even want to tie your family into the shit that you got going on. So it's hard. The streets is traumatized. But imagine if we said, forget all of that and basically just worked on building our nation. Not nation as in America, but nation as in the nation of Israel, the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Let me grab this precept right here. No, matter of fact, let's keep going a little bit, then I'm gonna grab some precepts.
I don't give a fuck about that. I am the streets. I love the streets. I come from the streets. I ain't on all that pussy.
you've been doing a lot of dope things on the shows as well. I know you've been giving back to a lot of youth in different cities that you stopped at. What's your take? Because I think you've been early on this. On 21 Savage had the "fuck the streets" movement that he kind of has been promoting these last.
I don't give a fuck about that. I am the streets. I love the streets. I come from the streets. I ain't on all that pussy ass shit. But about that, um,
Right, so he said he don't really give a F about it. He said, I am the streets, I love the streets, I come from the streets, and that's why you gotta kind of see that certain rappers, right, especially on the level that young boy is on, he can't really take that stance of saying F the streets. He can't take that stance because he get paid to promote street shit. He get paid to promote gun violence. He get paid to promote, what he saying? You got the slime season, you got the slime, got the Make America Slime Again. He got all of that going on, right? He get paid to promote these type of things and these type of lifestyles, right? He get paid to promote drug use and all of that, right? As well as a lot of other rappers, right? They get paid for that, so they'll never speak against it. They'll never say kids don't do drugs. They'll never say they'll never say, don't sleep with your brother's, girlfriend or whatever. If that's your brother girl, then don't sleep with her. If that's your homie girl or that's somebody else woman, don't sleep with her. They'll never say that, right? They get paid to promote those type of things. And the so-called white man is the one paying them, right?
And it's just like stop the violence. Same shit I've been on, you know.
Hmm.
Oh no, it's kind of like I think people kind of confused. It ain't got nothing to really do with toting a gun, cause I ain't telling you not tote your gun,
Hmm.
but you ain't gotta have your gun and engage in bullshit.
Right? And ain't nothing wrong with having a pole, right? You see in the Bible, even Yahweh Shai. Let me see if I can find the verse. I think it's Luke 22. Is it Luke 22? Bear with me. I'm trying to find this verse. Right here it goes. Luke 22 and 36. It says, it says, then said he unto them, but now he that have a purse, meaning if you got money, let him take it, and likewise his scrip. And he that have no sword, what's the modern day sword? The modern day sword, is the gun, right? It say he that have no sword, meaning if you don't got one, it say let him sell his garment and go buy one. So it said, Yahweh Shai, this is Christ. This is Christ saying this. He said, if you ain't got no pole, you better sell some of your clothes and go get you one, because you gonna need it. Especially being out here in this world cold. And you're gonna need something to see the most high and Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai, right? It ain't nothing wrong with you protecting yourself, right? Ain't nothing wrong with self-defense. Ain't nothing wrong with you, ain't nothing wrong with you, having what keeps say, ain't nothing wrong with you pulling up on a strip with the thing on your hip. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but it becomes wrong when you using it to rob your own brother. It becomes wrong when you're using it to backdoor your own brother. And by your own brother, I mean your fellow Israelite, right? Your fellow Black, Hispanic, and Native American, right? It becomes wrong when you're using it to plot and murder, your own people, man, right? The Most High, He against that, right? Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 22, right? I think I'm on verse 12, right? Ezekiel 22 and verse 12, right? This a major thing, and a lot of these things rappers promote, right? Let's read this in the NLT though, right? Luke 22 in the NLT. This Luke 22, and I'm gonna start. I mean, not Luke. I didn't damn type in Luke. Ezekiel 22. All right, Ezekiel 22, and we gonna start at verse. We gonna start at 10, right? Luke 22 and 10. It says, "Men sleep with their fathers' wives and have intercourse with women who are menstruating." That's a major thing right there. Sexy Red just came out with a song, saying that she's so nasty, she go give it to him while she bleeding, basically. She go give it to him while she bleeding. And that's an abomination to the Most High. That ain't nothing good. That ain't nothing to be promoting. But these are things that we promote, right? And the Most High is talking about it. It said, and have intercourse with women who are menstruating, man. Right? Verse 11. Within your walls, meaning within our cities, right? Within our hood, within our what the Hispanics call it, your barrio, right? Within the projects, right? Within the gardens. right? It say within your walls live men who commit adultery, meaning it say with their neighbors' wives, men who sleep with other men's girlfriends, men who sleep with women that belong to another man. That's what's happening in our community. And a lot of rappers rap about it. Lil Baby, he just got accused of doing it, right? Sleeping with Ari, who is with Young Moneybag Yo right now, right? But he raps about it all the time, saying that he's an adulterer. It's a who defiled their daughters-in-law or who grape, right, their own sisters, right? Verse 12. This is the home run right here to me. It's a there are hired murderers, hired unalivers, right? Hired unalivers, right? You got hitmen out here, right? It's a loan racketeers, meaning money launder, and extortioners everywhere, meaning brothers that extort, rob, do all these type of things, right? Hired murderers, loan racketeers, and extortioners everywhere. They never even think of me and my commands, says the sovereign Lord. Meaning they never even had the Most High on their mind, right? Because if they did, they wouldn't be doing those things. That's us. If the Bible is talking about any nation of people, it's talking about niggas and Hispanic niggas and what they call it, and spics. It's talking about blacks and Hispanics, man. Because that's who the hell we are. This is what this sums us up as a people, right here. You can't make this up. What other nation is broadcasting that? What other nation is promoting that? Let's go back, man, to the video.
Be violent.
Yeah, your shit because you love it and because you want to protect yourself.
Right.
You know. So um, that's why I donate money to those type of things because I actually do kill.
And you can tell this brother on drugs, man. Look how he moving. Look how he talking. Like this brother, he high out his mind right now. But this is who our children, who our young people is looking up to. Shit, you can't even say not the young people, because I mean you can't even just say the young people. You got brothers that's in their 40s that let NBA Youngboy influence them. You know? Brothers in their 40s and their 50s. Let Youngboy influence them. Youngboy and Lil Durk. Letting them influence them into living those type of lifestyles and chasing after them type of things. We gotta really examine ourselves and look at ourselves and think about what we putting into our mind, what we putting into our mind, and what we and who we choosing to lead us, man,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people just
and the path that we going down.
be like, I guess confused. I be throwing out mixed signals probably.
Yeah. I'm thinking about that.
And he said, I know it's confused. I be throwing out mixed signals because I could pull up some Youngboy lyrics right now, and he talk about the straight opposite of what he just said, man. One of my favorite songs by him, 38 Baby. You know, we know that song. I don't even gotta say none of the lyrics. He got a whole bunch of other songs, man, that promote he said, I be saying stop the violence, but all the nigga talk about is violence, man. And I understand we products of our environment. I understand we rap about what we come from and what we seen and all of that. But just because we rap about where we come from, right, that don't mean we gotta promote it, right? We ain't gotta talk about it in a way that make it seem fun, that make it seem exciting of doing these things, right? We could talk about it in a way in which, you know, show the trauma behind it, right?
Like, you would never forget about where you came from. Is that how you see the fuck the street shit? Is it like you think people are saying fuck where they came from?
Man, I don't even got my own. Like,
You gonna be paying attention to that shit.
I just don't care.
Yeah, that's real.
That's
And he gonna say it like that because this man is a puppet, man. He finna prove to you that he's a puppet too. Within the next 5 minutes, he finna prove to you that he's a puppet, that he's an industry that not an industry plant, but he's there to influence the minds of the youth, man. Right? If a lot of people they take high regard to what young boys say, a lot of young brothers, a lot of YNs and all, they call them YNs, right? They take high regard to what young boys say, man. They dress like young boy, they talk like young boy, they listen to young boy all day, every day, right? So they go take high regard to what he's saying. And by him saying, he don't give a F about that, about what 21 Savage and them talking about and all of that, they go roll with the same thing and keep staying on the fuck shit, basically. Speaking about what I think I do got an article pulled up, right? But I kind of broke it down myself, right? When they was talking about the after street stuff, right? We can kind of get into it, right? This is from Rolling Stone, right? This article was written December 22nd, 2025. It's titled 21 Savage says F the streets, the rap world isn't so sure, right? Because it's hard to think about, well, it's hard for rappers to get on because gangster rap is so prevalent, right? Gangster rap, drill, trap, all those genres of rap is so prevalent, right? It's hard to get on and rap in any other genre, right? It's hard to cross over, right? And so they know that mainly this is what the people this is what's being mostly those genres of rappers was being most promoted. So a lot of people they ain't gonna be willing to rock with that because they trying to get their money, and it's like it's to a point where you choosing money over the well-being of your people, right? And that's basically you selling your soul, right? Let me get this. Let's go to Mark 8. I think I want 36. This Mark 8, and I'm gonna start at 36. It says, and what do you benefit? Oh, so like I'm still in the damn NLT. Hold on. Let's go back to the KJV. All right. Mark 8 and 36 in the KJV. It say, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the world and lose his own soul? Right? Because you lose your soul when you let people tell you what you can and can't stand for. You basically just sold your soul. You taking this money in exchange, they telling you what you could promote, what you can stand for, what you can't stand for, what you could be an advocate for, what you could do good, what you could do whatever. They making the decisions for you. They controlling you. You didn't gave your soul away, man. Right? Sukiyana, it was a video about 6, 7, 8 years ago. Sukiyana, she crying, walking. She was like, I just feel like I sold my soul to these people. With the music I put out, woo woo woo. She crying and all that because she was in a contract of where she got to promote that type of music that she promoting right now. Everything, every song she drop is sexual as hell, you know. And a lot of these women, they don't even be like that, but they doing it for the money, they doing it for the fame and the fortune, and they got to keep putting out that sexuality. They got to keep putting that sex music out because that's what the so-called, the elite, the man, the white man, that's what he wants to do to, influence the masses. He used these celebrities to influence the masses, man. Right? The same way Nebuchadnezzar did the same thing, man. And this tell you that it's an old strategy, right? Let's go to the book of Daniel, the third chapter. right? This Daniel, the king of Babylon, right? And it's crazy because America is Babylon the Great, right? But the king of Babylon, it's like I'm gonna hold off on this. I'm gonna hold off on this. I'm gonna hold off on this, right? Because I'm gonna let Youngboy speak on it first, and then I'm gonna tie it in.
Narrative somebody pushing right now. I'm pushing my narrative.
Mm, tight. I want to get back to the album for a second. Slime Cry. When I hear that, I think of Song Cry, you know, the Jay-Z song. Kind of iconic. Did that inspire the title of the album at all? For real. What inspired that title?
I don't even know, bro.
When did you like come up with it?
How was your name? Master that.
Man, look how he looking, man. This brother hyped out. He hyped out all them damn drugs he be taking. He can't even sit still. He can't sit still nothing. Dude that's interviewing him been in the same position the whole time. That's how you tell he's sober. Young boy can't sit still. He leaning forward, leaning back. He scrunched up like he cold. This who we let influence our youth, man. That's why the youth so hyped out. That's why they popping 10, 12, 10, 12. I'm just saying numbers, whatever, 3, 4 perks or whatever, back to back to back, and doing all these other drugs, man. Cause this who we let influence them. This brother got 3 diamonds under his eye. That's kind of I don't know. That's kind of I don't know. I don't. This might be for fashion or whatever. It look kind of crazy, like kind of suspect to me though too. You know. Next, all the brothers finna
But I
be
didn't, so
all the youth finna be having bedazzles under their eye.
I don't know.
Oh, you're gonna name Massa Slime Cry. Why didn't you?
Because the music
Mm,
didn't feel like that message or that type of sound.
hmm What is that message? Make America slime again. Like, what does that title mean to you?
Now we finna get into something else. Make America slime again. Right? He took that from the Trump slogan, "Make America Great Again." Where is that at? Let's go right. MAGA. All right. Let me just MAGA. Make America Great Again. MAGA. Right. That's Trump's slogan. Right. That's what he was promoting. For his presidency. When was America great? Well, is they trying to say when we were slaves? That's when America was great. When during Jim Crow, is that when America was great? Right? Is that what it is? I'm trying to understand. Right? But now you got NBA YoungBoy promoting it. NBA YoungBoy promoting MAGA, but calling it massa, make America slime again. What's I don't even know what that means, but he finna explain it.
I mean, follow whatever Trump applying.
So hold on, hold
Follow
on, hold
whatever
on.
Trump applying.
Yeah.
What is that message? Make America slime again. Like, what does that title mean to you?
I mean, follow whatever Trump applying.
Follow whatever.
So massa mean follow whatever Trump applying. Massa, make America slime again means follow whatever Trump applying. Trump is a so-called white man. Massa is what the slaves used to call the slave master because that's just the dialect of how we spoke. So massa mean follow massa. And we letting these people lead us, bro. Follow whatever Trump applying. Trump trying to get rid of our ass. Trump trying to Trump just removed every historical artifact from the of African American every African American historical artifact from out of the what is that? Out of the I want to say the Pentagon, but out of the American military history. And then for all the national parks, he made them not free. He made Juneteenth and Martin Luther King Day, not free days no more for the national parks. He took that away. They took away DEI. That don't help us, right? DEI and what is it? What is it called? Affirmative action. That don't help us, right? But follow whatever Trump applying. Fuck it, I guess, right? Like this crazy. Like, look at this, man. Look at this brother face, man. This brother ain't got no soul, man. He's being ruled over by somebody. Talking about follow whatever Trump applying, and he trying to get all the YNs to follow whatever Trump applying now. Man, hell no, man. Let me grab this real quick. Let me grab it in this one. See, make not thyself. Bear with me. Let me find this verse. And I was just on the phone saying this to one of my brothers earlier. Now I can't even remember where the verse is. It's all right, 427. All right, so let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes. And Ecclesiastes, you want game, you want wisdom and knowledge, read Proverbs and Ecclesiastes. You gonna have knowledge, man. Right. This is Ecclesiastes 4 and verse 27. Right. It says, make not thyself an underling to a foolish man. Meaning, don't make yourself a follower to a brother that's a fool, man. Don't follow no damn fool. Right? Neither accept the person of the mighty, right? So it said, don't make yourself an underling to somebody that's a damn fool. Somebody that ain't got no guidance. Somebody that's what? Man, hell nah. Right. Another one I want to grab Isaiah 9 and 16. Right. And I rock with Youngboy. I rock with his music a little bit. You feel me? A couple little songs or whatever, but when it comes, it's cool to rock with anybody music. But when it comes to listening to the leadership and extolling that to the clouds, like holding what they say to a high regard, man, hell no, man. It ain't, he ain't somebody that we need to be following. Right. This Isaiah 9 and 16 says, for the leaders of this people, right? The people that we choose for leaders, right? Which mainly be celebrities. It's a cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed, right? And they know that we look towards celebrities as leadership. So they try to use the celebrities to influence our decisions. This is why you had during the election, you had Charlemagne on the Breakfast Club, you know, you had Charlemagne on Breakfast Club basically, giving out election ideas, talking about the election and all that, giving his viewpoints and saying why we should vote for this and that. Charlemagne, nigga, talk about music, bro. That's what you get paid for. That's what you rose up for. Right? We not finna listen to Charlemagne to get his opinion on who we should vote for and all of that. When has that ever been his specialty? Right? We not finna listen to. We got you got Kamala Harris trying to use Meg the Stallion Meg the Stallion down twerking and during the concert during the damn Kamala Harris champagne talking about vote for Kamala. What? Make it make sense, man. They think we that dumb. They playing in y'all face, man. They played in y'all face, right? And they still playing in y'all face with Youngboy right here, man. Right? They know they use these people to promote these things, man. Let me pull this up right here. Speaking of Charlotte, man, I forgot I had to pull this video clip up before we get too deep into the master stuff, right? They pay these people, right, and tell them to, keep rapping about the things that they rap about, because it's putting money in their pocket. You go to jail, that's money in their pocket. You get you in court, that's money in their pocket. You buy the music, that's money in their pocket. Whatever. A fatherless household, that's money in their pocket. You die, that's money in their pocket. This man right here, a damn demon, Leo Cohen, right? A big exec in the damn music industry, right? Owning record labels. Let's hear what he got to say.
Particularly on women. But I think it helped change the course of the crack epidemic. I don't know what's this opioid thing, man.
Well, being a
So with
crackhead
that said,
wasn't
would
cool
you?
back then. Being a
What?
crackhead wasn't cool. Now they seem like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup and
It's
to
the
be on
most
high.
dangerous.
He said they making it cool to drink lean and syrup and be on all these pills. This is one of the brothers that make it cool. Look at him. He off a pill right now. You can tell. Right? Future. Another person made it cool. He's Molly Percocet, whatever. You got up and coming rappers. What who is it? YNJ. Perk 10, I just popped up perk 10, perk 30, I popped up perk. All of that, they putting it in your ear because that's what they getting paid to do. They getting paid to lead you astray, man. And he's finna say that.
It's the
Perks
most
and Molly's
dangerous
and
thing that's facing um um our society.
Are you
And
talking?
And he know that the drugs is the most dangerous thing, other than us backdooring each other. But he don't care. He'll promote both to you. He'll promote both to you to put the money in his pocket. He don't care.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
Right.
because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to. I can't give up on people.
Don't you think that's hypocritical though? You're saying the
It's
opioid problem's a problem.
opportunistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got people to feed. I got.
See, look, and he talking about he's gonna keep promoting music about drug use and music about violence because he got people to feed. He wants to feed his own pocket. He wants to feed his own riches, and he knows that music is gonna influence you to go and be the same way to what you listening to. And the Most High even said that, right? Well, through the Apostle Paul. This let's go to the book of First Corinthians. Right, you got to be careful what you put into your ears, man. Right, we got to be careful what we promoting and what we putting into our ears, what we allowing, and mainly what we allowing our children to listen to. Right, this is the book of First Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 33. One of my favorite precepts because it's so true. It says, "Be not deceived," meaning don't be tricked. Right, don't be fooled. It says, "Evil communications corrupt good manners." So what you put into you, how they same way they say you are what you eat. You can become what you listen to. You can become what you feed your mind. Right? You putting all this music about corruption. You watching TV shows that's basically. Let me give an example. Right. Let me give an example. Right. You you watching TV shows about hustling or whatever, right? Just regular hustling, just like making money or whatever, right? About let's just say you watching The Wire, right? You watching The Wire, right? And then you go, you listening to music about hustling, trap music or whatever, saying you selling this, selling that to get your money, putting the money up, putting the safe in the flow, whatever. Woo, woo, woo. You listening to all these things, selling birds, whatever. Woo, woo, woo. I ain't gonna get too much into it, but you listening to that, and after a while, if your spirit ain't strong, it's gonna corrupt you, and you gonna be like, the time will come where you be like, you know what, I could do the same thing that they saying in this song, or that I'm seeing on TV. It's gonna corrupt your manners, right? And it's gonna have you. Next thing you know, you finna be out there flipping birds. You finna be out there stacking and flipping it, and quartering and zipping it, whatever. You finna be out there doing that. I seen it happen, right? This is the so-called, small hat. By small hat, this is the imposter, right? The JEW ish man, the JEW ish man, right? The small hats, right? That's they the ones that own all the mainstream media and all of that, right? And they promoting this because they know that they not the real people. They know that we are, and they happy to make a bag off of us, right? They happy to make a bag off the actual chosen because as long as we in this downtrodden state, they know that the Lord ain't with us, man. Right? Let me grab that real quick. And I said this video wasn't gonna be long, but it's where we at right now, man. Right? It's where we at. Let's go to the book of Judith. Kind of gotta blow the dust off this precept. It's been a minute. I think it's 5:19. It's Judith 5:19. It says, "Now therefore," and this is this in this account, right? This is in the time of the Neo-Babylonian Assyrian Empire, right? They was coming up against Jerusalem and besieged it, right? And you had this heathen, he's giving an account of all the things, he's basically telling the general that's coming up against us, you know, uh, our history. And he's saying that, they got a God that's with them that actually protect them and serve, and help them and keep guard over them, but as many times as they disobeyed the word of their God, he would he would put them into straits and put them into the hands of their enemies and all of that, which is true, right? This is why we in the hands of the so-called white man now, because we disobeyed God, and we in the hands of the white man now, and now we got to wait to get redeemed by the Most High, right? Which the time is coming, right? But he's giving a history on that. Now, Pete, what he say? This Judah 5:20. It says, "Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin." So he said, if these people is over there doing wrong, and they sinning against their God, then this they downfall right here, right? This is our time to go ahead and get them, right, and put BTA on them. It said, "And let us go up, and we shall overcome them. But if there be no iniquity in their nation," meaning if our people not sinning, right, and we following the ways of the Lord, it say, "Let my Lord now pass by," meaning let's just leave them alone if they doing what God tell them to do. It say, "Lest their Lord defend them, lest our God defend us, and their God before them, and we become a reproach before all the world." Right. So the other nations, they know if we sinning and we doing each other bad and we not listening to God's laws, then they know that they continue to have reign over us. But if we come back to the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments and get right, then the Most High is gonna protect us, man. Right? And these heathens, they know that. He knows that, right? That's why he's continuing to promote, you know, sexual music, gang related music, drug use music, whatever. He's going to continue to promote that. Now let's get back to this, man. Let's get back to this.
I want to get back to the album for a second. Slime Cry. When I hear that, I think of Song Cry, you know, the Jay-Z song. Kind of iconic. Did that inspire the title of the album at all? For real. What inspired that title?
I don't even know, bro.
When did you like come up with it?
I was gonna name Master that, but I didn't, so I don't know.
Oh, you're gonna name Massa Slime Cry. Why didn't you?
Cause the music
Mm.
didn't feel like that message or that type of sound.
Hmm. What is that message? Make America slime again. Like, what does that title mean to you?
I mean, follow whatever Trump applying.
Follow whatever Trump applying.
Yeah,
What in what way? Like,
in every way.
well, you know, Trump pardoned you, got you off house arrest.
I don't know nothing about that.
What you mean? Right.
And see, like that just tell you right there that this man a puppet, man. This man is a paid actor, right? This man is a plant, right? Because dude just cut him. He said, you know, Trump pardoned you. You know, he did this, he did that for you. Is that why you telling? Is that why you promoting Trump right now? Right? And look, got that nigga in his pocket, man. He got him in his pocket. Right? This is Daniel 3:1. This is why I wanted to tie in with it, right? Nebuchadnezzar was the king of Babylon, the king of the Neo-Babylonian Empire, right? This is around 605 BC, right? In the time of Daniel, right? It says Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold whose height was 3 square cubits and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. So he made a 60-foot, wait, 3 square, 20, 46. Yeah, he made a 60-foot statue, right? Of all gold, solid gold, right? And said, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits, right? So it was, you know, about, and it says, and he set it up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon, right? Nebuchadnezzar had the statue, right? And he set it up in basically in the center of his city. It says, then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, sent to gather together the princes, the governors. Look at all the people that he's gathering together and watch the mission that he gives them. Together the princes, the governors, the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. So he wanted to have all the people that get held to a high regard, the princes, governors, the captains, the judges, the treasurers, all these people would be all leadership. And he gonna have them, you know, basically push the influence to have everybody slug it, to have everybody bow down to this statue, right? That's why he used them, right? He used the people, right, to get everybody else on the same accord. It says, then the princes, the governors, the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then a herald, right, cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at the time when you hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music. So basically, whenever you hear this music cut on, that you fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up, right? So whenever you hear that music, you got to fall down and worship that image, right? So he used those people to basically influence the masses, right? He used the people that's in leadership to influence the masses to have them, you know, worship that statue whenever that music came up. And the so-called white man, he took that technique and he's using it now, and he used it back then, even in the time of the Maccabees, right? Let's go to the book of Second Maccabees, right? Because he tried to get a well-known brother, right? Two well-known brothers to do two different abominable acts, right? Two different, ungodly acts to basically influence the masses to make it seem like the route that we trying to push things, what we trying to add to the culture is okay, right? Let's see that, right? Let's go to the book of first. We're gonna go to First Maccabees, the first account, First Maccabees, chapter 1. Or is it no? First Maccabees. I'm gonna pray when that's hold on. First Maccabees, the second chapter, I believe. I believe it's the second chapter. Right. I'm gonna start at verse 1 and I'm gonna jump down. Right. So this is when the Greeks came into power. Like, yeah. It's for the boy. Y'all gotta bear with me. In those days arose Mattathias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest, right? So this brother was a Levite, right? A priest of the sons of Ira, right, from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin. And he had five sons, right? What is that? John. Wait, it's like it. Iron called Caddis, Simon called Thassi, Judas, who was called Maccabeus, Eleazar called Arun, and Jonathan, whose surname was Apphus, right? Apphus. And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem, he said, "Woe is me, wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people and the holy city, thank you, and to dwell there when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy and the sanctuary into the hand of the strangers," right? So the Greeks came and basically put us into captivity, right? And took over the city, took over the temple. I'm gonna jump down to verse 15. In the mean, while the king's officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city Modin to make them sacrifice. So the king Antiochus, right? He sent some of his officers to go and tell the people, to revolt against the laws of their fathers, because our people, we was brought up in the laws of our fathers, meaning the laws, statutes, and commandments, right? Of our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? That was gave us the laws, that the Most High gave, the laws, right, through the prophet Moses, right, on Mount Sinai when we came out of Egypt during the Exodus, right? So we call that the laws of our fathers, right? But so our people, we kept that, right? That was our way of life back then. That was our culture. That was our heritage. And the Greeks was trying to get us to uh basically discontinue and let go of our heritage, right? So they were trying to get us to do things that was against our rules and our ways of life. Meaning, like for instance, sacrificing a pig, right? Swine's flesh, right? Or eating swine's flesh, or not circumcising our children no more, or following after Greek gods, wearing togas, putting on hats, going into gymnasiums and wrestling naked, because that's what gymnasium means. Um, Joining the Olympics, doing all of these things, right? Going into the Greek games and the Colosseums and all of that, going into their temples and their synagogues that they worship their gods in, right? And sacrifice to idols. They wanted us to do all these things and let go of our heritage, our God-given heritage, right? And when many of Israel came unto them, then answered the kings and officers to Mattathias on this wise. Like this was, thou art a ruler, meaning you a ruler. You a brother that's high up in the ranks. It said, and an honorable and great man in this city. and strengthened with sons and brethren. So they was like, the people look up to you. Same way that they came to Youngboy with the same message. Trump did. Hey, I'm a part of you because I know that the young crowd, they look up to you. I need to use you as an influence, right, to get them to you know get with the program basically. And Youngboy said okay, because why? Because Trump got his soul in the pocket, right? It says, verse 18, now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done, yea, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem, so shalt thou and thy you gonna be called one of the king's friends. You go, your children, they gonna be getting blessed with some gold, silver, nice clothes, whatever. We're trying to bribe them into doing this. But what the brother say? Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations under the heaven, under the king's dominion, obey him and fall away every one from the religion of their fathers and give consent to his commandments, yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers, right? God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances, right? So he said, we not finna do that. We ain't finna do that. I ain't finna do what you asking me to do. You trying to get me to influence the people, right? So let's go to the next account when they tried to get Eleazar to do it. Eleazar was another honorable man that they tried to use to influence the people to get them to go off, right? And you got to pull up these accounts because this is the same thing that the so-called white man is doing today, man. Right? Second Maccabees, the 6th chapter. Right, this probably be my last precept, and I'm gonna wrap it up. Man. Second Maccabees 6 and this is what I want. Maybe first man. Oh no, this is what I want, right? Bro, we'll start it. Okay, here we go. This Second Maccabees 6 and 18, right? It says Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man, and of a well-favored countenance, right? So this was a well-known brother. People loved him, right? That's why I say well-favored countenance. It says was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh. So they was trying to get him to eat pig, right? Because pig is against the law of God. And they know that our people, we stood stiffly to the laws of God, right? Especially the chief men, the chief men like the scribes and the prophets, right? Those men, they stuck closely to the law of God and the priests, right? But they trying to get the people to basically follow the rules of the new world of their new world order, right? So they trying to get our principal men or the influence us to get with that program, with the program. So they try to choose our Eliezer. Then to live stained with such abomination, he said, I'd rather die. I'd rather be unalive, right? Than to eat that. He said, spit it forth and came of his own accord to the torment, right? So he spit. He was like, y'all try to put that in my mouth, I'm spitting it out, right? It says, and it behooved them to come that are resolute to stand out against such things as are not lawful for love of life to be tasted, right? It says, but they that had the charge of that wicked feast for the old acquaintance they had with the man, taking him aside, besought him to bring flesh of his own provision. So they was like, listen, you know, this is what we gonna do. We'll make a deal with you, right? You just bring any kind of meat. It could be chicken, right? It could be chicken, it could be beef, whatever you want. It could be some lamb, right? But we just need you to pretend like you're eating pork, right? Just so we could make everybody else think it's okay to eat pork. That's what they did. This is how slick they is, man. It says, such as was lawful for him to use. So they was like, you can use a lawful meat, but we gotta pretend that it's pork. It says, and make as if he did eat the flesh. So make as if he did eat the pork. It says, taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king. It says, then, Salakia, it says, where was that? That in so that in so doing he might be delivered from death. They say if he don't do this, you getting put to death. It said, and for the old friendship with them find favor. It says, but he began to consider discreetly, and as became his age and the excellency of his ancient years and the honor of his gray head, whereunto he was come, and his most honest education from a child, or rather the holy law made and given by God. Therefore he answered accordingly and willed them straightways to send him to the grave. So he said, hey, just kill me. Just kill me, man. Right? It says, for it becometh not our age, said he, in any wise to dissemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being fourscore years old and 10, were now going to a strange religion. So he's like, I can't lead the shorties astray. I can't let the shorties think that I done switched up on God. That's what he said. He stood strong. Right? But you got brothers that's cool with leading the shorties astray. Right? Like this brother.
Okay. But the album's name
was like, just
okay. All right, fair. But we at Slime Cry now.
Right. And that's into on that, man. As a puppet, man. We gotta pick our leaders wisely. Right? We gotta pick our leaders wisely. The Most High said he was gonna give us leaders in these times, and we finna read who they are. Right? We don't know exactly who they are. We see them every day though, right? But we don't know which one of them that they are though, right? We don't know who is what I'm finna say, right? Second Edges, the first chapter, right? So yeah, it says, and now, brother, people that come from the east, we came from the east. Israel, that's our homeland, that's our country. We came from, right? It says, unto whom I will give for leaders, right? So the Lord said He's going to give us these people for leaders. It said Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Jose, Amos, uh, uh, Salakia, Micah, Joel, Obadiah, Jonah, right? Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi, who is also called an angel of the Lord, right? So he said he's going to give us the prophets for leaders, man. And the prophets is here today out on the streets, right? The prophets, they out there today, right now, doing the work. That's who's supposed to be leading us, right? So we got to come back to that, right? So hope you've been edified. Been another lesson, man. Hopefully I keep these going, right? I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh Shem Shah. Shalom, man. On to the next, right? Don't be following these celebrities, man.